Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. This is Leaders Worldwide Toastmasters Club, and it is June 20th. And welcome. I'm Sally Reyes, your Assistant Sergeant at Arms. And please take out your phone and set it to silence. Thank you so much. And I'd like to have you help me. First of all, take your phone. You did set them into silence and help me welcome our president and the most innovative person I've ever met, General Intuitive and Guardian Angel, Cynthia Stott. Take it away.
You muted, Cynthia.
Here I'm chatting away. Thank you. Welcome to Leaders Worldwide. I'm so excited. We have an exciting meeting today because guess who is your keynote speaker? I am. I'm going to be talking about the Speakers Bureau, which we've been waiting for 3 years. Oh, and thank you, Swarna. I'm also going to be talking about the Toastmasters International Accredited Speaker Program. Many of you have probably never heard of this. And also our TEDx event and how they're all tied with raising the bar for us as speakers. So without further ado, I'm going to introduce our Toastmaster of the day. And is that you, Kathleen?
Yes.
Okay, take it away.
Thank you.
Kathleen.
Thank you very much, our president. And this is the theme of the meeting is honoring freedom. And it is related to a very special day, which is only now, become a national holiday. It's related to the holiday of Juneteenth. And that has a long history about the progress of African Americans, that is Americans of African heritage, on their long road to freedom and equality in the United States. So the theme of the meeting is honoring freedom. And with that, I would like to bring forth our general evaluator, who will invite the evaluation team to come on, or not the evaluation team, but the grammarian and the timer to come on.
The theme of the meeting, that is. Hello, everyone. Yes, I am Judith Ferber, the General Evaluator. And yes, today is Juneteenth. It's just the end of the slavery, actually, what that we are kind of celebrating or hoping that finally we have a holiday for that particular event, Emancipation Proclamation, that is. Anyway, so our timer is Isaac. So Isaac, tell us what you are going to do and show us your colors.
Great. Thank you for that, Madam GE. I will be the timer today. And as the timer, I will time each speech. We're going to have 3 speakers today. Well, actually 4. Example of a standard speech would be 5 to 7 minutes. So at 5, I would show the green, 6, yellow, 7, red, and you would have 30 seconds to wrap it up. We have a keynote speech tonight. That will be 15 minutes. So at 13 minutes, I will show the green, 14, the yellow, and 15, the red. And you have 30 seconds to wrap up. And then table topics will be 1 to 2 minutes, and evaluations 2 to 3 minutes. So my job tonight is to keep the meeting on time And if you can, pin the timer, but I will also do a reaction. So I should always be in the left side of your screen. That,
All you have to do is to raise hand.
okay, I will do that
Yeah.
right now.
Excellent.
Okay.
No, not that one. Not that one. The raise hand.
Okay, I think I got it.
No, that is a
That's
different
not.
yellow hand. What you want is the
Okay. I got it.
That's
There it
That's
is.
the one. Okay. All right. So we got that. You said we have 4 speakers. I only have 3 speakers on my list, but we'll see who is the 4th speaker.
We only have 3.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Well, Isaac said we have 4 speakers. We only have 3. Okay,
Oh, okay.
moving right along. Nadine, you are the grammarian and the word of the day. So please tell us what you're going to do and what is the word.
Hello, good night, everyone. So I am the grammarian today. Excited. This is my first time. And the grammarian will be okay, so there are 3 basic responsibilities. One is to comment on the positive and negative uses of the word. And the word for today is liberty, in keeping with the theme honoring freedom. And the other responsibility is to introduce a new word and explain, sorry, I just did, and explain the use of it. And this word, I'll give you a few meanings.
So we have 2 words now to the day of the word.
Liberty. Liberty is the word of the day.
Oh, okay. I said you said a new word, so I was just didn't-
Right. I'm sorry. I said I that's okay. So
Yeah, all right.
the
Okay.
meaning of liberty is the quality or state of being free. It's also a right of immunity enjoyed by prescription or by grant. And it's also an action going beyond normal limits, such as a breach of etiquette or property, familiarity, or it's a short authorized absence from naval duty, usually for less than 48 hours.
Can you
Okay.
tell us how you would put it into a sentence?
Okay. So let's see.
We need to use the word.
Right,
So
right. So I take liberty in the Juneteenth holiday.
okay, good. That's a good one.
Okay.
Yes. Thank you. And also just to add your grammarian, also you may want to look for some interesting phrases or sentences that people use in their speeches that you may want to note and let us know what you liked or what
Okay.
was meaningful to you
Okay.
or something like that.
Okay.
And this is our, that's it. Okay, so I will return the control back to our Toastmasters. Thank you. Oh, and also, yes, what I am going to do. As a general evaluator, I will introduce the evaluators to each, the 2 speeches. And also, at the end of the meeting, I will have the report from the timers, grammarian, word of the day. Make sure you know how many people use the word during our meeting. That's the important one. And then I will have a short comment how the meeting went and what we could possibly improve the next time. Thank you, Madam Toastmaster.
Thank you very much, Judith, Madam General Evaluator. We have a gift coming to us from our president. Our president is a very hardworking Toastmaster, and she works very hard for our benefit. DTM Cynthia Stott is a past Select Distinguished Area Director, and she's a mentor, has been a mentor to 3 other area directors. She's an international speech and confidence coach, as well as a global visibility influencer with over 47,000 followers in over 140 countries. She is passionate about passion, speaking to our truth and changing the world. That's why she's so excited to announce the launch of the District 57 Speakers Bureau. The title of her offering, which is a big bundle gift, is the D57 Speakers Bureau, Toastmasters International Accredited Speaker Program, and our TEDx program. And this is Leveling Up. Cynthia, welcome.
I gotta unmute myself again. First, before we start, Kathleen, I didn't get the things that we put for posting in the chat. Could you post them? Because people will
Now,
want to
yes.
follow along with us.
All right, here
Go ahead and
comes.
post them now. Yeah,
All right.
great. And I'm coming to you from my laptop for the first time at Leaders Worldwide. Woohoo! So you'll be able to see some of my gestures. So let me know when that's posted, and then I will start. And you can follow along with those links. And I will have a link to apply for the Speakers Bureau, but I'll post that after my speech and during the break time. And let me know when that's been posted so that I'm not distracted. Woo! I'm so excited. Are you excited to hear about the Speakers Bureau? We've been waiting for more than 3 years for this information, and it's finally launched. Woohoo! Okay. And is it in the chat yet? I can't see.
It is in the chat.
You just posted it. Okay, great. So you can follow along with those things in the chat. So raise your hand if you are a speaker that wants to share your message worldwide, with a worldwide stage, with people all around the world. Oh, Catherine's got 2 hands up. Yay! Well, that's what this is all about. This is raising the bar at Leaders Worldwide for the D57 Speakers Bureau, the Toastmasters International Accredited Speaker Program. And many of you probably have not even heard of that program yet. And finally, for our TEDx event. And this is one way that we're going to raise the bar of our speaking all at once. So we had 8 people that applied for the D57 Speakers Bureau recently, and only 3 were approved. 3 out of our great speakers, and only 1 other person in the entire district was approved. And there wasn't a huge amount of applicants, but there were quite a few. So I was wondering, why weren't we approved? What was the issue? And I went to the organizers and I asked them, and they couldn't quite tell me. They're still new. They've got the idea in their head, but they don't have it written down in criteria. But what I did learn was, number 1, they want a contest-worthy speech for the international contest. So that means it needs to be no less than 4 minutes, 30 seconds, and no more than 7 minutes, 30 seconds. And you're probably better off choosing between 5 and 6, at least 5 minutes, because this is what they're looking at is for professional level speakers that are ready to speak professionally and even get paid as a speaker. And it is not a paid program, but it leads to one that is. So first of all, I want to talk about the speech and the video. The video, they want it to be a contest level video. Say they want you, let's see, let me come back. I have to go the other way. Your video should be a laptop, not an iPhone or anything like that. And you should see down to your elbows on some of it. Don't be way back. In fact, one speaker had to resubmit a video because he was way back at the front of the room and the video was at the back of the room and he couldn't be heard. His gestures could be seen, but his facial expressions couldn't be seen and his eye contact couldn't be seen. And those are two things that they're really looking for. So make sure you're within your frame and that your gestures are within the frame. See how that goes above the frame. So you want to keep it below the frame, within the frame, and still be able to make your gestures. And you can move a little closer at times, but when you gesture, you want to come back. So they're looking at your video. They want high quality video and high quality audio. And they also want it to be like an international speech contest or contest worthy speech. So I thought I would offer you the judges ballot. And that's the first thing that we have in the chat. Is that correct, Kathleen? Do we have the judges ballot?
Actually, Cynthia,
Yes, there is one.
Kathleen sent that to me and I put it into the chat for everyone.
Okay, so the first one is the judges ballot. Great. So if you click on that, we're not going to go over all the details right now, but there's definitely like about 10 different points that you need to hit and explains all the criteria. It talks about vocal variety and gestures and appearance, which includes your Zoom box. So look at that and make sure your speech hits all those points because they're really looking for not a perfect speech, but a professional level speech. And the 3 people that were approved at Leaders Worldwide, it's not surprising, was Michelle Petticolis and Linda Patton, and then Tala bin Hamid. So, and 5 other people were not approved. And it's not that they're not good speakers, it's that they didn't have the level of the video or the content of the speech or something that was missing there for these several reasons. So first it is contest speech worthy. And if you want help with that, I have a personal program, that's my personal program, and I'm giving a free workshop on Thursday, this Thursday at 10 a.m. Pacific San Francisco time, and the following Tuesday at 10 a.m. Pacific time, San Francisco time. So if you want to come check it out, find out about it, I really talk about what I've seen world champions do with their speeches and why they were approved, why they won. And it has to be inspirational, as far as I've seen. It's inspirational, it's humorous, it's vulnerable, and that's probably one of the hardest things to do as a speaker. And it has a twist, something different and unique that really sets you apart. And if it can tie into your inspiration and your humor and your vulnerability, all the better. So I talk about that in detail on that workshop Thursday at 10 a.m. and next Tuesday at 10 a.m. I'm going to offer some other times. So if you sign up for the free workshop list, then you'll get that information as we go forward. So that's a Speakers Bureau. Well, when I was talking to the person that is the head of the Speakers Bureau committee, I found out, she said, and it was kind of about one at the door, she kept telling you, I don't really have any criteria. I don't know what you want. she said, I would really like the speakers to use the Speakers Bureau to apply for the Toastmasters International Accredited Speaker Program. And that's on the chat as well. There's a link there. You can check out that program. And that program is for professional level and paid speakers. And the criteria is that you have at least 25 professional speeches of at least 20 minutes to 30 to 60 minutes in length, and at least 20 people attended, and they were not a Toastmasters event. So nothing with Toastmasters counts, no TLIs or the conference or anything like that. You have to have outside of Toastmasters. And of those 25 speeches, the bar was raised this year, and 15 of them need to be paid. So how does that work with the Speakers Bureau? Because you don't get paid, and it's mostly Toastmasters, right? Well, we've actually skipped, we've done phase 1, 2, 3 all at once, because phase 1 was supposed to be just Toastmasters groups and getting your feet wet and speaking around the world. And many of you have done that, but you had to arrange it privately. And now it can be arranged more automatically because we can send the link for the accredited speakers program, for the Speakers Bureau, out to hundreds and even thousands of Toastmasters groups around the world. But because it's on its own website, we can send that link to Rotary clubs, Lions clubs, and any other associations so that they can start hiring people to speak. Well, not hiring because they're not paying, but they're booking people to speak from the Speakers Bureau. And we can also send it to corporations. So again, it's not a paid program, but if a corporation wants to invite a accredited speaker, a Toastmaster from the Speakers Bureau to come and speak in their organization for free, a keynote for free, they can do that. Now, here's the part that's really interesting. They can always hire you as a speaker after that directly and pay you. So you can get paid in an auxiliary way from the Speakers Bureau. So first you speak for free, and then they would privately message you and say, hey, we want you to do a workshop for us. And they would negotiate a fee for you. And this has actually happened several years ago with Heart to Heart. Several people spoke at a corporate Toastmasters group as a guest speaker. And the HR person was at that meeting. And the HR person approached them. This was even, I think they spoke in person. They approached them about doing a workshop for the company, and they paid them. So you can get paid speeches, and you can speak outside of Toastmasters with the Speakers Bureau, but it's not kind of the initial connection, if that makes sense. And the third thing, what are we going to do that's very special at Leaders Worldwide? I don't think any other Toastmasters group have ever done this before. We're going to host a TEDx event. And it'll be our own event, and our own speakers can speak. Other Toastmasters groups have helped TEDx speakers with their speeches, but I don't believe that any other Toastmasters club has organized a TEDx event, and we're going to do that here. It's going to take a little time. We're starting to get to know it. I actually have an appointment tomorrow to talk to one of the TEDx organizers, and we're going to take it a step further. But I think we can do it. I think we absolutely can do it. We have to follow their rules and all of that, and figure out what we're going to do, and put together a whole team at Leaders Worldwide to organize that. But one of the things that I've been concerned about is the level of speaking at Leaders Worldwide. And that's why we came up with one idea, is to have a group first to audition for a 5 to 6 minute TED Talk. And then if you're approved, then you could move to the next level, which is 10 to 12 minutes. And if with the same speech, and if you're approved, you can move to the next level and audition for a 16 to 18 minute speech. And the longest speeches in TEDx and TED are 18 minutes, because the human brain has a hard time concentrating past 20 minutes. And so 18 is a good cutoff. Great. So we have the Speakers Bureau. We have the Accredited Speaker Program in Toastmasters International, and that's for professional speakers and paid speakers. And you have 3 years to bring them all to, from the last, you can count the last 3 years. Were you speaking at 25 events that were outside of Toastmasters that had at least 20 people, and were 15 of them actually paid? And it doesn't have a dollar amount that you have to be paid. It could be an honorarium. So I am so excited about this Speakers Bureau. I've been excited for 3 years trying to push it along and get it started. And finally, it's starting, but it's even better than I thought. It's harder for us to get in. And that makes it a little challenging, but it's going to raise the bar for us as we become powerful, clear, and powerful and professional speakers, that we can speak all around the world to Toastmasters clubs, to Rotary clubs, to Lions clubs, and any associations and corporations. So I'm excited for us to raise the bar, and it's going to raise the bar on international speeches too. We had 10 international contestants, and I want to see next year at least 10. We had about 7 of them with different clubs, and with our club advanced to area contests, division contests, and Dr. Michelle Peticolas even made it to the district level contest. And I want to see that again next year. I want to see our winner advance to the district contest. And I want to see more of our speakers join other clubs and compete in the club, area, division, district. I want a club of champions. And I hope you do too. I think you do too. So thank you so much. And back to you, Madam Toastmaster.
This is delicious. I'm very excited. Thank you very much for all this exploratory, ambitious research you've been doing for us. And we will have 5 minutes or even 5.5 minutes to a question and discussion with our president and our fearless leader. So please pop a question in the chat and I'll moderate for that. And I have a question while people are popping questions in the chat, which is, I'm very much interested in building speeches, building speech quality, building powerful messages and articulate messages. And I love the idea of starting with 5 minutes, starting with 7 minutes. And I wonder if there would be a workshop event, a total let's get together and take a few of us who are really serious and practice our speeches, get feedback, and do that weekly, or do that until we're strong enough to go to the 12-minute or the next step. What do you think?
There's many ways to do that. We'll probably have breakout sessions, kind of like we did for Speechcraft, that you can practice your speeches so that a number of people can be practicing their speeches, especially the 5 to 7 minute speech. We're going to have a lot of different breakout rooms for people to do that. And so you need to be ready to fill in as a role player so that other people can speak and then you can have a chance to speak. So evaluator, Toastmaster, timer, all those elements are important. Plus, we'll probably have a few maybe panel discussions on what it takes to take your speech to the next level. That would be great for us to bring them in. We're also going to have a member of the committee for the organizing committee for the Speakers Bureau will be coming and giving a keynote speech, and then you can ask them some questions, but we're going to give them some time to get their criteria together, to get a better handle on it, so they can explain more to us what they're looking for, so we can reach for that and actually be approved, but not be approved because they're lowering the bar, but be approved at this high bar level. And then, of course, I have a program called 4 Elements of a World Champion Speech, and I'm going to be doing the workshop on that on Thursday at 10 a.m. San Francisco time, and next Tuesday at 10 a.m. San Francisco time. And I'm going to go over what's needed and present to you what I offer in my program, which you get to speak your speech and then get coached by me and get not evaluation, but reflection from your peers. And that's really important because they can share what's confusing or what they would like to know more of, or if they have a question. Many of, especially the entrepreneurial speakers, have learned so much in that class. Does that answer your question?
Pretty well, yes. And Rosalind expresses her thanks. She says, beautiful. Thank you for all of your hard work, Cynthia. And she again wants to be sure that she says, can we start doing those talks with those requirements in mind in our club? So you are saying,
Yes.
Do I understand that we would have breakouts similar to the Speechcraft format, where the people who want to take their speeches to the next step would workshop their speeches in that breakout room, and then you would conduct, outside of meeting times, you would conduct another kind of workshop?
That's
Where
my
you-
private workshop. And the program that I offer is a paid program. So that's something separate from Toastmasters. Yes.
I see. Okay. Do you want to say anything about that?
Yeah, we talk about the 4 elements of a world champion speech. And so it really is a powerful way to raise the bar on your international speech with inspiration, humor, vulnerability, and a twist, something
Excellent.
unique.
Fabulous.
So it's a good opportunity. And I have a special price for Toastmasters too.
Oh, thank you. Now I see the red, oops, here we are. Swarna says, I'm excited about this process and how you are doing it all at the club. My question is Speakers Bureau online next term as well in D57?
It's ongoing. It started and it's going to go until it stops, but I don't think it will stop. We've done a lot of work to set up. For 3 years we've been setting it up at District 57.
All right. Well, thank you very much, Madam President, for all this powerful information, these powerful tools. And thank you, Mr. Timer, for keeping us on track. I love it. And please give us 5 minutes on the clock where we will stop the recording. Or would you like, Cynthia, to have, perhaps there would be more questions?
If there's more questions, I'm willing to answer them in the break. Yes.
I don't see more questions. So
I have a comment
oh,
or
good,
a question.
good.
We had Speakers Bureau in District 1 for many years. And so what happens there is that the people do, as about each time we had 2 speakers for who
I
want-
think you're talking about a Toastmasters club called a
No. I'm talking about a Toastmasters, no, a Speakers Bureau, not a club. No.
I've
We had a
been-
Speakers Bureau for a long time, not a club. No, this was an event that we had about once a month. And there were members of the Speakers Bureau, and we had format. When people spoke, the members of the Speakers Bureau filled out the form. Whether those people who wanted to, there's a word that I can't seem to remember. Actually, I can't come up with the word. Is my aging process here. In any case, so that's what happened at the end
So
of the meeting.
This is
they have-
something completely different. This
I'm not
is
sure
not,
it is.
it's not an event. What it is there is a link, and I will post that after I get off this for the break.
It's ours is an ongoing thing. It's been going
No,
on for
It's not
months.
an event. There is no events for the Speakers Bureau may have an event, but that would be something special.
No, I don't mean an event, but it's a regular 2 hours.
No. That's an event. It's not a meeting. It's very different than that. What it is, a link, and it's a link to a database of our speakers. And it tells you, it gives you their picture, it gives you the information about them, it gives you a video to review, and then you, as a Toastmaster or as a Rotarian or a
Right.
member of the Lions Club, can book the speaker to speak for you. So it is
Exactly.
not an event that you come to. It's an event that it's a link that you come to a website to book speakers from District 57. So it's very different than the concept you have.
Okay, I don't think it is, but that's fine. Okay, thank you.
Thank you. And Carolyn Douglas put in a comment. She says, I believe one of the challenges to pay very close attention to is the test video that must be submitted. It must be of high quality. Carolyn would advise anyone to look at the manual produced by Toastmasters International on online speech contest best practices,
Great.
2021 to 2022 contest cycle. So that's a really good place to start.
Yes, and then also look at the judges ballot to make sure your content hits the points and your delivery hits the points.
Yeah.
Your most important part is your video, and it has to confine with the time and with the content and the delivery.
Excellent, excellent. And our wonderful On It grammarian is reminding us that the word of the day is liberty. And how do you get real liberty? It's by strengthening your talents and offering them to the world. And that's what Ms. Cynthia is helping us to do. So it looks as though we still have a little time for our break. And why don't we?
1 minute left, so you good.
Okay, why don't we pause,
Can I-
breathe, take a bio break, whatever, for that last minute. And then
say
our beautiful Toastmaster is going to slip right in to carry us forward for the second section of the meeting. Because Raghunatha Raju has come on to the meeting.
Oh, great.
Yeah,
Excellent. Can I say something before we
yes,
go?
please.
Thank you so much, Nadine. And it's absolutely true that this will increase our empowerment and our liberty to exercise speaking our truth to a worldwide audience that includes Toastmasters, but opens it up to the whole world. with TEDx and with Lions Club and Rotary clubs and corporations. So this is really a red letter day, and we can change the world while speaking our truth.
Ain't that the truth? And let us pop right into our next section of the meeting. And I will hand the virtual lectern over to Raghunatha Raju, who is going to pop right in as soon as we find him. There you are. Unmute yourself, please, Raghu. There you are.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whichever part of the world you're from. Liberty and freedom. We speak a lot about these words, but I've always asked people a question. Are we really free and independent? Well, I keep posing this question. Let me invite the timer for today to give the timing objectives for the speakers for the prepared speak section.
Great,
Isaac.
thank you, Mr. Toastmaster.
Done it.
The time length for the 2 speeches today will be 5 to 7 minutes. At 5 minutes, you will see this, green. 6 minutes, yellow. 7 minutes, red, and they will have 30 seconds to wrap up the speech. Thank you, Mr. Toastmaster.
Thank you very much. I agree, we need to be free, we need to be independent, but at the same time, there needs to be a discipline of time, a discipline of being or keeping your commitment, which I failed in the first part, but I will ensure that I will fill it for the second part. At the same time, the timing is an objective that we fill in Toastmasters to ensure that we start and end meetings on time, and especially this discipline we carry to our real life. Now we have two great speakers today, DTM Rosalind Khan and DTM Caroline J. Douglas. Before I introduce the speaker, can I have her speech objective from our evaluator? DTM Rosalind Khan.
Thank you, Mr. Toastmaster of the meeting, DTM Raghu. This evening, I will be evaluating Toastmaster Rosalind Khan's speech. And the purpose of this project is for Toastmaster Rosalind to practice the skills needed to effectively use public relations strategies for any group or situation. And the purpose of her speech is for her to share some aspect of her public relations strategy. During the completion of this project, Toastmaster Rosalind created a public relation plan and will be at liberty to deliver a well-organized speech about a real or hypothetical public relations strategy. Her speech should be informational and may include humor and visual aids. The speech should be engaging. However, she is not at liberty to present a report of the content of the public relations strategy project. Back to you, Mr. Toastmaster of the meeting.
Dr. Rosemary, I love the way that you have brought the usage of the word of the day today. Thank you very much. Before I invite the speaker, DTM Rosalind Khan is a professional speaker, college teacher, and speaking coach from Los Angeles, California. She is the executive host of the KXLA talk show, Living Your Best Life with Rosalind Khan, with which airs on Tuesday from 11 to 11:30 a.m. Rosalind has been on many stages throughout the globe, promoting humanitarian causes. She enjoys writing, reading, being creative, and spending time with her dog, Casper. I love that name, Casper. Rosalind Khan, can you please check your audio and video before we start? Rosalind?
You are muted, Rosalind.
There we go. So you can all see my screen, yes? Okay, yes?
Yeah, we can see
Thumbs
your
up.
screen.
Beautiful.
I'll-
Well, first off, I'd like to thank you all for giving me this opportunity to give a speech. Cynthia talked a lot about speaking abroad, and this whole trip wouldn't have been possible if it wasn't a conversation I had with Cynthia of, I'm going to Ireland, Cynthia. Is there a way that you might be able to help me get a club to speak to? So with that as the backdrop, let me take you with me. And let's go. So here we go. Okay, this is lovely me, and I'm excited here to show you how excited I was to go on my trip, and we're about ready, set, go. This is a beautiful Big Bear before I left on my trip, giving a speech to my students. So let's go to the next one here.
Yes, we can see the slides.
You cannot see the slides?
Yes, sorry to interrupt you. We're seeing a picture of the recycling bin.
Okay, so let me try that again. It's showing on my screen. Here we go. Let's try this again. Can you see them now?
There we are.
There we
Okay, good. Well, this is the better one to start. So the first group I was invited to was actually a live speech, and I had connected to them with Cynthia's help. And this is an amazing story. This was the flyer they put out for me. And Castle Rock was a little bit farther from me. So this gentleman, whose name is Gerard Murphy, drove an hour and a half all the way out to cart me off to this event. And so we go to this event, and you know, when you're outside the area, sometimes you kind of get lost, and you know, promised me that we'd go and get something to eat. And as we get there, I'm like, I'm really hungry. You know, I just got here the night before. It's like, well, I have a sandwich in my car. This will hold us over. So we go off to this group with a sandwich. It was a tuna sandwich or something like that. And this is the group. There I am. And boy, what an honor and privilege it was to speak with this group of people, because there's so much that you learn by going to different groups. They had a person who was a poetry master who began the group with a poem. They had a table topics master, a Toastmaster, who really engaged everybody in there. And what is interesting is when you go to this group, you might think there's 20 individual people, but there's one gentleman here who became my bestest of bestest friends. And I don't think you see his face in the picture. It's this guy right here. He became crucial to my continued involvement in the group. Next off, I gave a speech before I left Dublin, because whenever there's an opportunity, you step on the up on the banner. And this is a group that was called the Tyne Masters Toastmaster. And this is my friend, Gerald Murphy, who became such a great friend, who opened up so many doors to me. It was from Gerald Murphy that I met this lovely person that takes us to the next slide here. And the next slide here, this is magic. I'd reached out to people in Toastmasters who were from a different area, and they were from the town of Ennis. I went to Ennis for a Up With People reunion. And as the reunion was in the other room, here I am in the lobby with these 12 people who've come out because they hear there's DTM. Rosalind Khan has now come to Ennis, California, Ennis, Ireland. And it was in this experience, I felt as if I was an international director, because they began by asking me questions. Tell us, Rosalind, there's this program, it's called Pathways, and they were all not too fond of Pathways. And I began the experience of sharing, how many of you ever used Zoom before you came to this world, before Toastmasters? Very few hands went up. And I then went ahead and said, but you all learned. And so what we went is, one member said, you know, this is almost like change management. You're trying to get us to do something we don't want to do. And we began talking about the modalities of how do we teach an old dog new tricks. And it seemed as though they told me in Ireland, people like to be independent. They like to do things on their own. And so when they were shown by video how the pathways work, it didn't work. And what I learned was best for them. It was a hand-holding, a participatory path that would really help them the most to learn how they could learn that pathways. And being the eager beaver that I am, before I left that meeting, I sent emails to 5 people that I knew were very good on pathways that could help them out. And then their next question was, how do we keep members online? And I said, well, I got this good group of friends back in the United States, and they do wonderful at bringing members and always inviting guests. And so truly, it was a win-win experience. And this was just a small taste of what it was like to be a speaker around the world. And the last slide you have of me is when I got back, I was invited to speak to the One Country, One World, where Rosemary Sweeney is actually a member of that club and was just elected as the VP, I believe, of education. And lo and behold, she was there to greet me with open arms. And what was really interesting about that club is they have a program where they actually have evaluators for the Table Topics Masters. They have a person who spoke about the world of communication. There is so much that you can learn by going out to other groups of other clubs. Toastmasters gives you an open doormat to explore the world. I suggest that you go online, find a country you'd like to visit, whether it's online or remote. My name is Rosalind Kahn. I want to thank from the bottom of my heart, Cynthia Stott, for opening up the door for these wonderful opportunities. And I promise there's 5 more speeches I've got, but I've only got a limited time. And today I could share what Toastmasters did and the people I met. Gratitude beyond words. My name is Rosalind Kahn, DTM, live from Los Angeles, thanking you from the bottom of my heart. Gratitude beyond words. Namaste.
Thank you very much, Rosalind Kahn. Now we will take about 1 minute to give feedback to Rosalind by private chat. I request everyone to give your feedback to the speaker over private chat. Timer, please give me 1 minute.
Time's up.
Thank you very much, Mr. Timer. Can you give this the timing objectives for second speaker?
Yes. Carolyn's speech will be from 5 to 7 minutes. So at 5 minutes, you will see the green, 6 minutes, the yellow, 7 minutes, the red, and she will have 30 seconds to wrap it up. Back to you, Mr. Toastmaster.
Thank you very much, Steimer. Carolyn Jolie Douglas has just completed her first DTM from Pathways. Congratulations, Carolyn. Even though she has completed DTM under Legacy program, she thinks this is a great achievement, adopting the Pathways and then completing DTM in that. Freedom is an inherent right of all individuals, but for many, it is a struggle to actually have that freedom and to enjoy it. And I agree to that. Today, she will speak on freedom as a personal choice, even in the present governmental laws, which declare freedom for all, honoring freedom, the personal choice. Carolyn J. class. Before that, can I invite the speech evaluator, Swarna Kalyan, to give the speech objectives?
Thank you very much, Toastmaster of the Day, DTM Raghu. Congratulations, Carolyn, for getting your second DTM. And today you're doing the strategic relationship pathway, level 1, the writing a speech with purpose. So the project objectives are as below. Is basically for you to learn and review basic methods of writing a speech with a defined purpose and to present a well-organized speech on any topic. I'm looking forward to your wonderful speech titled Honoring Freedom, a Personal Choice. Over to you, Carolyn.
Thank you so much, fellow Toastmasters. We are celebrating or coming off of celebrating Juneteenth. Juneteenth is also known as Emancipation Day, which symbolizes the end of slavery, and it commemorates the reading of President Abraham Lincoln's General Order Number 3 on June 19th, 1865 in Texas, in which he announced the freeing of slaves. And it became an official national holiday last year in 2021 through President Joe Biden signing a measure into law. So on hand for the celebration when this was done was 94-year-old Opal Lee, who had been advocating for the July 19th holiday most of her life. So this holiday, which is now a federal holiday, celebrates freedom. But I want to expand upon this because it's not the only holiday of freedom that we celebrate in the United States of America. Independence Day, also known as July 4th, is also a federal holiday in which the US commemorates the Declaration of Independence of the 13 colonies from Britain, from the rule of King George III. And in this, it was the workings of the Second Continental Congress who actually did all of the work to draw this up and then get it ratified. They literally signed the law on July the 2nd, 1776, but it actually became an actual fact on July the 4th. Previous to Independence Day, as well as Emancipation Day, people lived under conditions that were what I call an insult to the inherent birthright of every individual to live a free and happy life. It was an insult to the capacity of our nation to evolve into what we call a more perfect union. And with the enactment of both of these, we find that moving forward, it takes quite a bit of time, but we are moving and evolving into a nation of people that will, and I am predicting, I am going into the future with this, that will begin to recognize and give deference to all of us having freedom and exercising that freedom in our life. I really enjoy the writings of Maya Angelou. Maya Angelou said, history, despite its wrenching pain, cannot be unlived, but if faced with courage, it need not be lived again. So what she's telling us, yes, those things happen, but we don't have to stay stuck in them. We don't have to relive this. History is good. It tells us what it's been, but we have the ability and the power within us to change it to something different. So what is your definition of freedom? What does it mean to you? Very succinctly, why don't I just say, it's the power or right to act, speak, and think as one wants without any kind of hindrance or restraints. It's an absence of being subjugated to someone else's domination or to their way of thinking, their way of being, their way of doing. And if you ask, what does freedom look like, or what does it feel like for an individual? If you ask me, what is it like for me? Oh, I'm free. I'm happy. I'm open. I'm dancing. I'm joyous. I don't feel restrictions. I'm unobstructed. I can do exactly what I want to do. Let me share this little story about myself with you. My parents, oh, bless them in blessed ministry, but bless them even now. My parents prescribed the lives for all 7 of the kids. One was going to be doctor, lawyer, Indian chief, or some other profession. And I was slated to be a teacher. I'm like, oh boy, no, not me. I don't want to be cast in that mold. My family had lots of teachers already. I wanted to be something unique. I wanted to shine differently. Therefore, I purposely made sure that I stayed clear of anything that would qualify me as a teacher. So in college, that's exactly what I did. When I graduated, the only education course that I took that was required for teachers was the one that the college said, because we're teaching college, you will have to take a teaching course. I took that course, but I got a major in natural science, and I fulfilled a desire that I learned to become a scientist. I felt good in exercising my personal choice to make a decision for myself and to act and walk in that way. I practice that not only for myself, but I practice it for others. Take, for example, my granddaughter, Kiana. She came over to my house one evening and she wanted to go outside and play. She was about 3, maybe 4 years old. And as we let her go out to play, she began to run around the backyard, which was fenced on all sides. And she was jumping, doing all kinds of things and screaming and hollering. So I said, what's going on here? What's going on here? She says, I'm flying, I'm free, I'm free. And it was at that moment that I really understood at a very deep level, she knew and was declaring her personal choice to have freedom be expressed in her life. And from that moment on, we as a family not only supported her decisions, but we also supported the decisions of her sister. Freedom is available for everyone. It is very interesting that we have this holiday. I have a question that I want to leave with you, and I hope you will answer it. Why is freedom important and meaningful to you? And why is it important and meaningful for the world? Back to you, Toastmaster.
Let me tell you a story. I took it as a goal to go around the world giving speeches, though it is virtually. I joined this meeting in Czech Republic. One of the person in the meeting had a Taj Mahal as his background. And we were talking. He was the only guy who knew English in that meeting. And when I talked about chartering entrepreneur, or rather being a part of entrepreneur clubs in India, he suddenly said, how can India have entrepreneurs? India is a land of beggars. And what I noticed when I came to Delhi, and he was not able to even name the city. He said, and I was eating the yogurt from this cup. And he said, this kind of yogurt is not found in India. You only have that watery yogurt. When I asked him, why does he feel so? He said, I come from a European background. And when I look at the comparison, I compared Europe with India. And I just asked him, don't you find beggars in Europe? And did you fail to see the the development that India has made from last few years, or rather the industrial revolution here. If you just wear those glasses, the green glasses or rather black glasses, and you say the entire world is black, you cannot. You cannot just simply say the world is black because you have the glasses. The freedom is not about what government provides you or what someone has to provide you. It is you give yourself. It is here, not everywhere else. You need to feel freedom in your mind. You need to free yourself from that mindset, or unless you do that, I feel we are bound by those invisible shackles where we are bound by someone, something each and every time. I have more stories to narrate, but right now it's time for fun. Fun with our table topics. And I invite our table topic master for today, who is going to ensure that we enjoy each and every section of that part. I met Sally Elizabeth Reyes, who is the table topic master for today. But before that, timer, please give the timing objectives for our table topic section.
Great, thank you, Mr. Toastmaster. The time for the table topics will be from 1 to 2 minutes. So at 1 minute, green, 1.5 minutes, yellow, 2 minutes, the red, and you will have 30 seconds to wrap it up. Back to you, Mr. Toastmaster.
Thank you. Inviting on the virtual election, our dynamic Toastmaster, Toastmaster Sally.
Thank you very much. And we are honoring freedom today. And I am the table topics master and honored guests. The word of the day we must use and are doing very well today is liberty. Please, in your table topics speech, in preparation for the speakers program that you can participate in over the next year. My question is, what person, occasion, or speech inspires you? And please use liberty as the word of the day. But before that, I want to give you an example. When I was 9 years old, sitting in a movie theater watching Mahatma Gandhi. He was a man of high status and education. He gave up his imported three-piece suit and leather shoes in exchange for rope sandals and homespun cotton robes. He's led his followers across the burning desert sands. These actions eliminated status differences in India, and as a consequence, British industrial cotton industry exports dwindled in India, crushing poverty lessened and made way for greater liberty. That's my sample for honoring liberty. And can we have, excuse me, let me see. I wanted to ask someone who's used to, how about Carolyn, would you like to answer this question?
Okay,
Thank you.
what's the question?
Okay, in preparation for the speakers, the tabletop, the word of the day, we did that. Let's see. The question is, what person, occasion, or speech inspires you in your everyday life, or would you like to speak on? Please remember liberty.
Thank you so much. And I really appreciate you asking me to do this table topic. My favorite writer
And the one that I refer to quite often is Maya Angelou. And I love her poem, I Know Why the Caged Bird Sing. It inspires me every time I see the oppression that someone that I know may be experiencing as a result of some unconscionable act. I see it and hear it and feel it when something happens to me. And I can always turn to her writings and feel inspired to know that this has been felt before. And because I know that she's come through it, I too am able to come through on the other side and rise to the heights. And I accept and know that because I have learned to use my own personal freedom, my own decision to go beyond, I don't let anyone tell me what I can and cannot do. Believe you me, just being with my parents who had strong desires for who and what I should be, for them to finally get behind who I declared that I am, what I'm going to do. I heard my parents say more times than not, where I could hear it. You know, they didn't want me to know, but where I could hear it, we're so proud of her. That's my daughter. She's a scientist. Back to you.
That was fascinating and wonderful. You are an immediate, quick thinker and bringing it all together for us. I would like a guest, but I haven't quite got a list of guests today that's useful. Could I ask for a guest to participate in table topics? Nadine, would you like to join us and give us one? I know you're not a
She's
guest.
a grammarian.
Oh, okay, well.
Maybe another person. We have Anna Marie, who's a guest, if she'd like to answer the question. We have Luis Carbello, who's also a guest. And let me see if we have more.
They are both Toastmasters, so I'm sure they'd be well able. I invited both of them, so please
and
call them.
And Lynn D is also a guest. So Lynn or Lewis or Anna. Oh, Annabelle's unmuted. And Anna Marie is unmuted. Do you want to call on her, Sally?
I could answer, yeah.
Have we got Anne Marie?
I'm here, hello, yeah.
Did you hear my question, or I'll repeat it?
Please repeat it, I didn't hear you.
Sure. What person, occasion, or speech inspires you? And please remember to use liberty. Go ahead.
I'll thank you, Madam Table Topics, for that question. Thinking about people and occasions and things that inspire my freedom, I have to talk about my salesman, Ed Downs. He lives in Oklahoma, and he's a big proponent of freedom. He has written a lot of articles. He does more than just sell advertising for my magazines. He writes articles, and he's a big advocate for liberty and freedom to fly. He believes in the freedom to fly because we have an aviation magazine, and he talks about why we should keep airports open. He talks about why there should be fewer medical restrictions on pilots. And I remember one time he wrote in one of his articles, you can tell how free a country is by how many planes you see in the sky and how many boats you see in the water. And we certainly see a lot of planes in the sky and a lot of boats in the water. And he is somebody who is at the foundation of that freedom and continues to be a proponent for it and make sure that we have those things going. Another thing that he advocates for that's kind of related to our industry is trucking and how the truckers move the economy, move the supply chain. And he's a big advocate for that. So every time he sells something or writes something, that in and of itself is freedom. The fact that we live in a country where we have the freedom to start our own businesses and sell things, his freedom of the press, his freedom of speech. I think he is one individual who truly embodies the American ideal of freedom. And it makes me feel like I should be doing more to keep freedom alive. So I thank him for that. And that is the person who inspires me when it comes to freedom and liberty.
Wow, thank you, Anne Marie. That was just wonderful. Thanks for participating on call. It was great. Thank you. And I'm very impressed by your brother.
And Louis has his mic unmiked. Do you want to ask him if he wants to answer the question?
Louis?
Louis.
Can we hear from you on the subject of liberty? Louis? Hello?
Louis has no audio.
Oh
He
dear.
has no audio. Okay. How about Lynn D?
Lynn?
Are you there? Lynn, would you like to answer a question? And that's all of our guests. So maybe you could. Oh, he was in his car. That's why he wasn't available. Okay. And would one of our members want to volunteer? Maybe Misty.
Misty? Are you here?
I'm here.
Great. Join us. What occasion, what person leaves you that with inspired liberty?
My mother and I battled for many years over who I was supposed to be and what I was supposed to do. We finally drank a toast to the end of that battle when I was in my early 30s. And to my utter shock and amazement, the toast was each of us apologizing and acknowledging that we were no longer interested in taking the liberty away from the other person to be who and what they wanted. At which point I fessed up to her about one particular thing that had been sort of under wraps. In my junior year, I left the university to go train dolphin. Now, I had not phrased it quite in that way. It was totally something I created because I had the liberty to take that opportunity and the freedom to do it. I was one of 2 women in the world at the time who were doing research with dolphins, which turned out to be part of the space program. And the question that we were answering was, can women come into space? Can they be part of the space program? I'm so grateful I did not have the liberty of knowing that question was up for grabs at the time, or I might have taken my mouth to the media in a way that would not have been productive. Liberty is something for every single individual, whether it is internal, external, or any part of your life. You have the liberty to be who you wish to be and the tools to make that happen. Back to you.
That was magnificent. Thank you so much. And back to the Toastmaster.
Thank you very much, Topic Master. I feel the day when we get rid of this unintended bias, the day when we can be really free, when our parents don't force us to practice a religion or anything else that they want, rather what we want. We have heard our second speaker speaking about the differences that the parents and the children normally have, their expectations and what we want. The day when we are not forced to hide anything or everything, we can just be free. June being the Pride Month, I also want to say there's so many occasions across, even on the official Toastmaster Facebook page, I've seen so many jokes on homosexuality. Where they just people come and then make some jokes. But is that really intended? Toastmaster was supposed to be an inclusive organization, but are we doing it? Do we really need to joke on somebody's sexuality? Think about it. While I have that injected that idea in you, let me invite our general evaluator of the day, Toastmaster Jody. Jody, stage is yours.
Thank you. I have to say that I have not heard in my years of Toastmasters that anybody joked about anybody's sexuality or homosexuality. So I have no idea, but I have not heard this and I expect not to ever hear that. But then let's move on to our evaluation, which is really one of the most important part of a Toastmaster. So then the speaker find out what they did well and how they can improve and any suggestions the evaluator will give them. So timer, please tell us about the evaluation time.
Great, thank you, Madam GE. The evaluation time will be 2 to 3 minutes. At 2 minutes, green. 2.5 minutes, yellow. 3 minutes, the red, and 30 seconds to wrap it up. Back to you, Madam GE.
Thank you very much. And let's welcome Rosemary Sweeney, who is going to evaluate Rosalind Kahn's speech. Welcome, Rosemary.
Thank you, Madam General Evaluator. Greetings again, distinguished Toastmasters, fellow Toastmasters, and friends. Distinguished Toastmaster Rosalind, I truly enjoyed your speech. You started with much enthusiasm, and I learned that you make great connections across the globe. As a speaker, you take every opportunity to speak and epitomize the phrase, speakers speak. You create events, you find out where events are, and you go to speak. I heard an engaging presentation with great vocal variety. There were times your voice lowered. For example, when you spoke about the experience with the Toastmasters who wanted to learn about pathways, however, they were not interested in pathways. And I realized that you are compassionate. Your voice really got low. You're a compassionate person, and not only look out for yourself, but for others. You also analyze situations and will go above and beyond. Since I understood that you made connections with other Toastmasters in order to assist the members of this group. In listening, I heard great vocal variety. When you spoke about you were truly hungry, I could hear a quickening pace in your voice. And when describing the group you formed with the great table topic session, when you clicked on that, gentleman, I saw clear slides being displayed. They were not cluttered at all. And they even represented the Toastmasters International brand. Your lighting was great. I could see your face. You had great eye contact. I could see everything. But what I would have loved even more in that speech would be for me to hear the table topics that were presented in the table topic session and a little body language. I wanted to see a little body language, probably if you stood up. I know your speech was coming to a close with a call to action and your profound gratitude. Overall, I enjoyed your speech. You had great vocal variety, great presentation, and I love the profound gratitude you showed and the fact that you not only spoke to the members, but you got other people who can assist them further in pathways. Back to you, Madam General Evaluator.
Thank you so much, Rosemary. Our second evaluator is Swarna Kalyan. She is going to evaluate Caroline Douglas's speech. Welcome.
Thank you, General Evaluator Judith, fellow Toastmasters, and Carolyn Douglas. Wow, it's an honor today to evaluate you here. Starting off, I want to congratulate you. You are truly a leader to show us all. Even after 2 DTMs, you start a new pathway. So thank you so much, Carolyn, because many a times we think we know it all. And today you're saying, no, I want to still show you how to do. So doing a speech from level 1 was something that I didn't expect. So it was very, very good. Thank you so much for doing that. Coming to your speech, when we look at the project objectives, you have achieved it. So congratulations on that. So there's nothing to comment on those things. Now, looking at the structure of your speech, beautiful introduction about the day that we are celebrating and why freedom is important. What are the different freedoms that we actually have, from the independence of the country to the independence from slavery? You explained it so beautifully on different levels and what it meant to different people. And then you went on to say what it means to you. And one word really caught me, or one sentence really caught me, was, what does freedom mean to you? And you said it so beautifully. I want to shine differently. And that's the liberty I think we all can take, right? To be different. And I think in that way, this holiday makes a lot of sense. That yes, we all have the liberty to be who we are. And so thank you for that profound spell. In fact, I want to put it up on my wall to say, I want to shine differently too. So that's an inspiration today from you, listening to you. As far as the public speaking, you had your body language, excellent body language. They say action speaks louder than voice. And when you said, use your arms, and with so much of passion, we could feel what each word meant in your speech. When you spoke about your grandchild, although immediately the first thought came, wow, grandchild, Carolyn, you don't look so old. Okay, but then I was like, when you said, I want to fly, she said, I want to fly. And the way you put it up, it was so good, especially online, to see that action. You really set a stage for all of us to use the screen well. And as our club president wants all of us to do Speakers Bureau, I think today your speech was a great example of how to use the screen space. So thank you so much. Now, if I have the liberty to take just one stretch goal for you, is that in your speech, you had quite a bit, almost 2 minutes plus about freedom. I think it would have been better if we had more of your stories than the history itself. And so if you do that, I'm sure you have a wonderful speech for World Championship itself. Thank you, and over to you, General Evaluator.
Thank you so much. It's always very important to give at least one suggestion to a speaker, because everybody can use something somewhere that they can improve in their next speech. So now I'm going to ask our functionary report. Let's start with Isaac, the timing report, please.
Thank you, Madam GE. Okay, starting at the top. Cynthia's keynote was 15 minutes and 6 seconds. Our Toastmaster actually gave an impromptu speech between, and that was 2 minutes and 6 seconds. Let's see. Kathleen, when she facilitated the Q&A, was 5 minutes and 37 seconds. Rosemary Sweeney's evaluation was 2 minutes and 44 seconds. Swerner's evaluation was 3 minutes and 18 seconds. Carol Douglas' speech was 7 minutes and 27 seconds, right on time. And her table topics was 1 minute and 45 seconds. The first speaker, Rosalind, time was 6 minutes and 29 seconds, came in right under the, no, actually you were fine. Yeah, you were fine. The table topics guests, Anna Marie, time was 1 minute and 45 seconds. Misty's table topics was 2 minutes and 8 seconds. And that is the time for the meeting. So everyone was on time. Back to you, Madam GE.
Thank you. As somebody says in another Toastmaster Club, and we have a good time. On time and have a good time. Okay, let's move on to our first time grammarian. Where is she? Oh, there you are, Nadine. Okay, so tell us your report, please.
Wow, this was a really good session. I enjoyed it, and I'm learning from the distinguished Toastmasters. So today we used liberty 20 times. And to be honest, I did not. I stopped count. I wasn't listening for ums and ums because sorry, I was a little biased because of the credibility of the speakers. And but what I thought, given the fact that we had honoring freedom as the topic, and some of the speeches were entitled honoring freedom. I thought when Rosalind gave her speech, while she took the liberty of traveling to various Toastmasters in Ireland and sharing, it was beautifully done. I do not remember hearing her use the word liberty in her speech. And in Carolyn's speech, I heard freedom a lot. So one of the things I wasn't sure of, with freedom is a synonym of liberty. I wasn't sure, was I supposed to be counting the freedoms too, or was I supposed to be accurately listening for liberty, right?
You can do both. It's really up to you what you decide to do with the word.
So I experienced liberty in Carolyn's speech, and I appreciated, that she spoke about the history of Juneteenth. And but I thought that was an opportunity to use more of the word liberty, and it was not used as much as everybody else did. One of the things with our DTM, or Toastmaster of the Day, I don't know if I'm pronouncing his name properly, Raghunandan. He said something that I really liked, and he spoke about mental freedom, which brought me back to a song done by Bob Marley, a Jamaican singer, and that song was Liberate Yourself from Mental Slavery. So that's what I have to say. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And I will have just a few words about the meeting. And liberty certainly was a great word. I just have to share this with you, Caroline, that Maya Angelou is also one of I used to have a t-shirt that would say that people will always remember not what you said, but how you made them feel. And I love this t-shirt until it fell apart completely and it's gone now. But yes. And talking about liberties, one other person who was also my favorite philosopher of all time is Judah Krishnamurti, who I followed for ever and ever until he died. I used to go to Ojai, listen to him, and did he ever talk about liberty and liberating your mind from all those things that you really don't want in them? It's really a hard work. Anyway, thank you so much for all that. Our table topics was really great, except Sally, you have to ask the question and choose the person of the table topic, and that's the whole point of this. So then people will all sit on pins and needles and wonder when they're going to be called and if they're going to be called. So that is that one. And Caroline, I am really so glad that you did this speech, because you were the first person I know who is doing the writing, talking about writing a speech with purpose, which is our new addition to Pathways. And it was really wonderful. And I think it is a very important addition to Pathways, because we should always write our speeches with purpose, isn't it? Not just speaking whatever we are speaking. And thank you, Rosalind, for your Irish speech. I have also attended a couple clubs in Ireland in the last 2 years, and it's been really fun. And I tell everyone should visit other clubs around the world because we learn so much for how people run their meetings, and adding this and that to our meetings is a very good one. Anyway, thank you very much. One other suggestion I may have, that if you were using PowerPoint presentation, is always a good idea to try it out first before you actually do it, so we don't have to wait to see how this works out or not. And I had my share of this on certainly a last meeting. And one other thing, Toastmaster, please let us know if you are going to be late or what time you're going to show up, so then we don't have to scramble around and find a Toastmaster among us to start a meeting. But ultimately, we did have a good time. It was a great meeting, and thank you for all your speeches. And back to our Toastmaster. No, that's not it.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster Judy, for such a great report for General Evaluator. Liberty is your choice. And we talked about everything else. I want to talk on the philosophical side. Anything that you connect with, the philosophy or the Eastern philosophy says, disconnect yourself with anything, deassociate with anything that you do. It's not me. And the day that you liberate yourself from any karma, any action that you are performing, that day you are free from everything. And that day you are into Almighty. With that note, let me invite the VP Education, our beloved Kathleen, on the stage to take forward further.
Thank you, our beloved Raghu. I'm so happy that you have come. I love your impromptu spirit. You've really lit up the meeting. And so many of you have. I've loved the beauty and the generosity and the intelligence of these participants. Now, about I'm to give you some VPE message, and I would like to let you know that just recently I have sent out an Easy Speak message. It's one of those Easy Speak agenda links for you to open, and that means you. And you, and you. So all of you, please, it is very important that you know how to open that link, get on the website. If you have trouble, contact me. You and I can work together so that it is easy, because it needs to be completely easy for you to simply open that link and get on that agenda. If you cannot, how are you going to go farther? We have to get this all systematized. So that means you, I mean it, you. Now, the message that the agenda message that went out was for this coming week, which is on the different time slot. So most of you will not have an assignment on that agenda, but all of you must be able to open that thing. And if you cannot, get with me and I will help you so that there's nothing to it. Come on. And with that, I would like to pass the lectern on to our president for last chocolate kisses and messages. Cynthia.
Beautiful, beautiful. And that was a wonderful message about Easy Speak. And Easy Speak is our magic carpet. for how we get our agenda made. And as we move into TEDx, we're going to have to be running like clockwork on the agenda. And even as we practice for TEDx and we're breaking out into breakout rooms, we're going to have to fill up those roles. I'll be the evaluator and the speaker. I'll be the timer this time. I'll be the Toastmaster. I'll be table topics master, because we want to make it work like clockwork. If we all do just a little bit, then Kathleen doesn't have to do a lot way over her head. So many hands makes light work. And as like Cassandra Garabedian likes to say, it takes our global village to make Leaders Worldwide work. So yes, magic carpet ride. We love you too. And you will make Kathleen so happy and me so happy and all the officers and incoming officers so happy if you get on that Easy Speak and make it easy for all of us. So this was a very liberating day. We found out about some amazing programs that are going to help us speak our message all around the world to Toastmasters and to everybody else, to Rotarians and to Lions clubs and to associations and even corporations. So it's really, really lovely that we can share our message far and wide, deep, deep messages within our heart and bring them right into your living room and maybe even in person. I think the Speakers Bureau will have an in-person portion, but you'd be able to arrange that with your the person that is trying to book you to speak, so you find out if it was virtual or not. So does anyone have a burning message that they want to share, especially our guests? Let me check in and see if our guests want to speak. And well, first of all, Raghu, thank you for being our amazing Toastmaster of the day. We so appreciate you. And we would like to hear your thoughts. And what are you taking away from this meeting today?
Thank you, Cynthia, for the opportunity and also inviting me to speak now. I think it's always an issue when the meetings are morning and then I miscalculate the time zone difference, because I am from India and then this time happens to be in PST. So I did miscalculate that time. So apologies for that. At least I could make it in the second part of the meeting. Today I felt great because after my DTM, now that I'm going to complete my third and fourth DTM too in few months.
Wow.
What I feel good about is, rather what I'm looking forward to be is an accredited speaker. That is something that is a challenge that Toastmasters has put forward. First it was a DTM, but then now I feel it is an accredited speaker. So something, well, I found the light in the tunnel, dark tunnel, in the form of Speakers Bureau. When Kathleen mentioned that over the email discussion, I felt it was a very interesting topic. And when Cynthia gave all the details that was required, that's something that's going to liberate me. I'm going to go through that light in the tunnel. I will discuss more with Cynthia and Kathleen about that. Second thing, the speeches were so great. The two speeches were liberating. One thing, knowing about the journey of our first speaker. And second thing, from our second speaker, I had a speech in line with that, but it was great to hear from you, Toastmaster Caroline, about the freedom. We all boast about it, but are we really free in the mind is something that we need to think about it. And the jury, the great, man, you have led the team and the evaluations were great. I look forward every time I attend the meetings. I'm a lot of procrastination. See, the idiot, the lazy idiot who is sitting here, they're always being lazy. Otherwise, this is one of the best clubs that I look forward to attend every time. And I look forward to attend more meetings in Leaders Worldwide. Thank you.
Thank you, DTM Raghu. And would you like a chocolate, a virtual chocolate? No calories, no sugar, no guilt.
Of course.
Any special flavor?
Anything is good from you, Cynthia.
Oh, how about one of my favorites is dark Belgium chocolate made in Belgium that is nice and dark and rich. Here it comes. 1, 2, 3, woo! Nice catch. Awesome. And who else would like to share their experience today? Is Dee Lynn still on?
I think that's Yvette Lynn.
Oh, Yvette Lynn. Oh, yes, from Dominica.
I don't know
if
if she's,
handy
I think
to
she may
speak.
be busy, but anyway,
Okay.
I'm very happy that you're here, Lynn.
How about anybody else want to share? I would love to hear Sally's experience. That was an amazing table topic session, really phenomenal. And I know you have worked so hard on it. So thank you. And share, what are you taking away with you today from this meeting?
A deeper meaning of freedom that encases all of us in pursuing what our hearts want to go and encompass and grasp. It was a terrific meeting, rich environmentally and intellectually. Thank you so much. I enjoyed it.
Beautiful, beautiful. And would you like a virtual chocolate?
Oh yes, marzipan with medium chocolate on it.
Marzipan with medium chocolate, not milk chocolate, not dark chocolate, but medium chocolate
We're in there.
coming your way. Woo!
Oh, thank you.
And I got a message here I got to read. Sorry, I can't read easily. Did my friend in the morning? I don't know what your question is. We didn't have a meeting this morning. So talk to me in a direct message, Rosalind. Would you like to share your experience? Yeah, when you send me a private message on Zoom, especially because I'm on my phone, it makes it really hard for me to read it. So just send me a regular message in text would be great. Would you like to share your experience? You're on mute.
Yeah, it was such a beautiful experience being able to travel to Ireland. I only could tell you a small portion. I wanted to tell you about the food. I wanted to tell you about the places. I wanted to tell you about the reunion. But, there's 4 other speeches I have to come. So, Kathleen always has a place that she says, hey, Rosalind, you got a speech? I've got one in my back pocket because you should have seen me downloading all the pictures. And I'm like, but I can only talk about 1/4 of them. And then so it was a beautiful, beautiful experience. And I would just say, visit the world. It's not that far away. And I'm so grateful for you opening that up and the wonderful people that I met along the way. It was just beautiful in so many ways. And I'm glad I could share it with you.
Wonderful, wonderful. And we helped you book speeches or presentations, connections with Toastmasters groups in Ireland without the Speakers Bureau. And I've done that for several years I helped a Toastmaster to speak in Cairo, Egypt, and I have contacts all around the world, but I'm only one person. And it's really hard for me to make all those connections. So I'm excited about our Speakers Bureau because it will make those connections automatic and they'll just come to your email box. And I'm thrilled about that.
No, that's exciting. Hey, Egypt is the next stop. August 18th is the date. My friend says there's a huge Toastmaster building down the street from her. She said, we'll have to get a translator, but I'm going to Hurghada, Egypt on the 18th of August.
Oh, really? You
Yes.
should look up the Toastmasters clubs in the area and see if you can come and speak. I help people speak in Germany and all over the world in person.
Wow.
Just contacting those clubs. Yeah. And
No.
I actually was offered a free ticket to an event because I talked to a Toastmaster in North Carolina when I was visiting there. So you'll never know what will happen with these connections. That's wonderful. So would you like a virtual chocolate? I don't know if they have special chocolate in Ireland that you got to try.
There's Dunberries or something. There, I have some chocolates in the kitchen that are these rose buds, for my name Rosalind from Cadbury rose buds.
Cadbury. That's a British company. Yeah, awesome. Would you like a Cadbury rose?
Sure. Because my name is Rosalind. I'd love it.
Here
Ready,
you go.
set, go.
1, 2, 3. Woo! Right in your mouth.
Mm.
Nice catch. Nice catch. And
Thank you.
anyone else want to share?
Well,
Sam.
we can send some chocolate covered walnuts to Carolyn simply in appreciation of her beautiful speech.
Oh, beautiful.
She
Yeah.
says she likes chocolate covered walnuts.
Wow.
Walnuts. Oh, would you like to share your experience, or did she have to leave already?
She had to leave.
Dropping off.
Okay. And Sam is here, one of our guests. Would you like to share what your experience was today? What you're taking away with you?
Sam just popped on now, didn't you?
Uh-oh.
You're muted, Sam.
You're unmuted, but I don't hear you.
All right, well, let me check the.
Oh, there we go.
Okay, you can hear me now?
Yes.
Thank you for the invite. I was invited by my neighbor, Rosalind.
Oh,
Yes, Sam.
come again, Sam.
Wasn't gonna be able to make it, but I had a cancellation, so here I am.
That's nice. Thank you,
Awesome.
Rosalind.
Wow.
And you're going to come to
Yeah.
our next meeting. Are you usually available in the nighttime or the afternoon? I think the afternoon. So that's next week, the 27th.
That is correct. Yes.
Yeah,
Usually
10
Mondays is not a good day for me. But today
Yeah.
is council, so I'm actually here because I'm interested to meet with you guys, and thank you for the invite. I appreciate it.
Awesome. Awesome. We're so excited to have you. And did you get to hear any of the speeches today?
Yeah, just signed in. Just very much.
Oh,
Yes, sorry.
Great. Great. And what are you taking away with you?
Today, I actually had a very nice day. I had some visitors, so I took early afternoon off and we went to Santa Monica Beach. It was nice to.
wow. Lovely.
I was surprised to see a lot of people up there. It's actually crowded.
Yeah. Nice weather today. Yeah. And would you like a virtual chocolate or any other treat? No sugar, no guilt.
I'm good for right now. I'll let you guys enjoy it. Thank you.
Okay. And we'll see you next week, hopefully, the 27th at 10:30 a.m. to 1 p.m. Yeah, I enjoyed our conversation the other day. Great. And one last share. Anybody want to share? Misty, do you want to share? Any takeaways from today?
Well, it's always amazing and fascinating with a group that is very international with different interests and different takes on so many things. As a worldwide traveler, it's very near and dear to my heart when we can do it virtually, whether or not we can do it physically. So it was very special. I totally enjoyed it.
Beautiful, beautiful. And would you like a virtual chocolate?
Always love chocolate. Dark chocolate, maraschino cherry. Yes.
Ooh, dark chocolate with a maraschino cherry. We used to call that.
That's
Was
it.
it called mon chéri? They used to call those chocolates. And that was my nickname for my cat. So he loved for me to say mon chéri. So here comes a mon chéri for you. 1, 2, 3. Woo! Good catch. Awesome. Well, thank you all. We'll see you next Monday if you are available in that time zone on Monday the 27th at 10:30 a.m. to 1 p.m. And so exciting. We're going to try to book one of the Speakers Bureau committee members to come and speak with us and answer more of our questions. Maybe they'll have some detailed answers for us by then. And in the meanwhile, think about your TED Talk and what idea you have that is worth sharing and will change the world. What idea do you have that is worth sharing from your perspective and will change the world. Thank you so much for joining us, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.